Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with a growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with podcasting. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcastic, the home for indie podcasts and content creators.
I pray that my love for you is bigger than what my parents have.
So you must be my daughter's new friend?
Candy, let me ask you a question.
Oh, so this him? This the man that comforts you more than me?
Mama, all men ain't like daddy.
That's not fair!
The content you're about to hear is a part of a paid programming segment. The views, opinions, and statements expressed belong solely to the sponsor and do not reflect those of Podcastic or its host. This segment is for informational and promotional purposes only and should not be considered as advice or endorsement. Listener discretion is advised.
Rise and grind, wanna show at 9:15 a.m. Monday through Friday, great conversation, guest appearances, cause you experience us on the cusp of blowing up. Wake up, wake up. Rise and grind, morning show.
Yep, you already know what time it is. Welcome to the Rise and Grind Morning Show, y'all. It's, you know, we go from 9 to 15, 11:15, or whenever we decide to do what we want to do because we own our own shit. We don't have to worry about nobody cutting us off. We can say white folks, we can say Jews, we can say all that shit. Because we really don't care about. In case you know that I'm moving, we have these new moving cameras. It's kind of incredible how they work. Hey y'all, the crew's in the building. Wednesday is one of my most favorite days. Not saying the Tuesday with Lakers not and Cam and with Cam is not, but Wednesdays is one of my favorite days. And Brittany okay on Fridays and Mondays.
So jealous of me.
I am, because the way you get swoops in your hair, I can't get my hair to stay curled.
You don't have much.
Okay, I'm just saying, you gotta leave me alone. Don't disrespect me.
Disrespected yourself.
The beautiful voice that y'all hearing that we invited is a beautiful actress. She's everything, and she got my favorite line: "If you see a bitch, smack a bitch." The one and only Brittany Chanel is with us.
Good morning.
Brittany, why your shoulders all hunched up? Sit up.
I have my jacket.
Sit up like a lady.
Where's the heat? Where's the heater?
Shannon got you together today.
Well, because it was feeling like summer the last couple of days. Now we're back in winter.
I tell you, Michigan got to be a Gemini. She's really something else.
She's a Gemini.
She don't know what the hell she want to do. You know what I mean?
I mean, it was summer last week.
Yeah.
And now we're back in winter.
No, we're going back in the fall.
This is bipolar weather, man. Michigan. This is Michigan,
I felt winter
bro.
when I got up this morning.
Yeah,
and I don't know why people keep turning the heat off. I'm not turning it
my
off.
cousin called me like, "Hey, dog."
Ever.
He said, "Hey, dog, it's 82 degrees out here, and I feel good." And it's 6 in the morning. And it's 6 in the morning. How your weather? I cussed his ass out, guys.
Last week it was 80 something.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, Friday it was, and then Saturday it went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that you?
Yeah.
You need to get it
We
together.
gotta get that.
You need to get that together.
No, that's not me. That's the phone.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, that's the real phone.
That's the real phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the business
They
phone.
calling in already.
That's not an e-song.
That's you.
No, it's not.
None of his phones are ringing.
Oh.
Jesus. Wow.
It's your glasses.
Is everybody else's phone on silent?
They're my glasses. These are my glasses going on.
Okay. No way.
Yes.
That's the glasses.
Oh my God.
Let me get my Malcolm X on.
Fancy schmancy.
No, they just Bluetooth. they ain't the videos. Shout out to the Ray Bans. I wore those boys yesterday. Incredible. I gotta get Meta another name. Meta Video. No,
That's all people gonna be doing is just going live every day.
Yeah.
But you don't sound masculine. Meta, you guys. I'd rather call it chick name. Baby,
Meta?
baby, go live. Something.
Meta?
Meta don't sound right. Meta
Sounds close to Netta.
Yeah. They were like, "Ooh, you got that nasty girlfriend." Anyway, so
Call her Ahmeda.
Yes, Candace. It's freezing in here.
we don't get her heater, y'all.
I met her last
Because
night.
we're not right
That's a
here.
good one, Jewel. I met her last night.
Where did it go?
It's in another room. So
So y'all
listen.
just completely just moved it.
Yes, Brittany,
But
we're
why did y'all
on
take
air.
it that
We're
far?
on air.
We go to commercial. I need the heater.
Hey, look, let's talk. We got the perfect gentleman who ain't complaining about it being a little chilly willy. The only one.
I wore a hoodie today, so that's why I'm cool. Top of the top, my people. Welcome back to the Rise and Grind Morning Show.
She's just like a woman that's gonna complain until she get her way.
And listen, I live with a spoiled Leo, so I'm cool, bro. You know, this don't bother me
Such
nothing.
thing as being spoiled. Spoiled is
And our very
bad.
special guest, the one and only Jewelers here, y'all.
What up, though? Welcome back.
Linwood.
He up here doing gang signs.
Absolutely.
Now, if he did like this, we would have. If he would have did like this, we would have had a motherfucking
But he
problem.
did it this way, and he did
Well,
it this way.
you
so
can't
it was
say
very close.
you can't say it'd be a problem if he did that and you clock and see, sir.
You pitch nipples.
I pitch your nipples.
And then
You
do it like
pitch nipples like that, that's
you
crazy.
do it so retarded. Like,
If you pitch nipples like that, that's a
Brittany,
problem.
How do you do it with you? How do you do the pitching?
none of your business. 'Cause nothing-
Look at you, got to cover it up.
Because I'm freezing.
Oh, well, they really showing. Listen, so
Oh man.
Miles, don't be disrespectful.
Collard.
Don't be disrespectful. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Good morning. Don't you do it.
No, okay.
Hey, you all right over there, Tony?
Yeah, it was a little low. Good morning.
There you go. There you go. So you trying to say you don't go low?
No,
trying to make sure that she was
no.
heard.
When they go low, I go lower.
Yeah. Yeah. You go under. That's what's up.
Oh Lord!
That's why your chair down.
Oh Lord!
I haven't heard that one before.
No.
Oh, man.
And he said you go lower. That's not. You know what she? Ooh.
I was not.
Anyway, chocolate rivers. Listen to the gas station chronicle. Real talk. Finkel and Illinois is jacked up. Okay, they're messing up Illinois. They're jacking up the streets, and it looks like they got crackheads working this year because it's just still
I thought y'all
uneven.
said one no more crackheads out.
No, I said they not out. They working because the way they got Illinois all jacked up. Whoever is in charge of Michigan and city roads, they on drugs.
They're doing a terrible job.
They doing a terrible fucking job.
They're doing a terrible job.
We don't want to talk about
Where are the
that.
tax dollars going?
And it
Bad.
shows.
They got that
Seriously.
infrastructure.
And it shows how important 696 is to the whole metro area.
I swear.
Very much so, because it is ruining.
Malcolm
Sometimes it
We
be dreadful
running
going
routines.
home. Yeah, it just be like.
It's been like that for years, though.
Very true, but
30 years.
not with 696 though. With 696 being decomposed, I swear to God,
Literally.
every highway is backed up. Every major street is backed. Anytime fucking Woodward is backed up, something is wrong.
Something's wrong.
Like a dream cruise.
A nightmare cruise. That's what you be doing.
That part.
Yep. So listen, today, y'all, we're gonna have fun, and it's gonna be a lot of inner truths. But we're gonna let's go to a music break by Maurice J. Let's do Maurice J.
All right.
Together so we can get Miss Brittany together.
Thank
'Cause
you.
She
I know
over
that
there,
guy.
she looking like a little frozen hot dog.
Frozen hot dog.
That's
Wow,
nuts.
word.
It's
Frozen
freezing in
hot
here. I don't understand how y'all living right now.
Anyway, y'all, we'll be right back. Y'all watching the Rise and Grind Morning Show right here on Podcasting. Maurice J. Let it fly, y'all. We'll be right back.
Sometimes pretty just ain't good enough. You can call me day and night, it just ain't good enough. No need to tweet me cause it ain't good enough. I need more love. Physical, well good is only temporary. I need the substance in you that's deeply buried. Let me help you with what I need in you. Don't get me wrong, at times you've held it down. You are my only love and that will never change, true. Baby, there is only one thing that I need from you. Here's one clue. I need you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Maurice J. I Need You. And the one thing that excited me about this video was he actually used his real wife.
Yeah, that's dope. I like when people be authentic.
Yeah.
Like don't get no.
Say that word again.
When people be authentic.
Okay,
like I don't like it when
I can't pronounce it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't like it when people try to get these models.
He's
and
authentic.
I don't like when people get all these models and then they wife look like uneasy on the eyes.
So,
I mean, Ty, you sometimes you might have to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I get it. I just like.
I like the fact that he used his wife.
Yeah, that's fire.
And somebody don't want to be known.
That's true.
At first, we was looking for video for chicks, right? And then I ain't hear from him for 2 weeks, and then next thing you know, he come with the video. I'm like, damn, okay. But his wife is appealing. She's nice looking, and she's cool. And she been by that Negro side. That's what's important.
That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
But sometimes women just don't want to be seen.
That's true. That's true. That is very true.
Because you deal with a lot.
That was RJ's thing. He didn't want they had a career. They didn't want nobody to know they were married.
That was
Yeah,
crazy.
because the woman gets slapped
Shackles
too.
on my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
Dee
woman
Dee
don't
was
want to
fine,
deal with that.
but then they also tried to do a solo project with her, and it just didn't go too well.
Okay.
Anyway, too bad, RJ. See you later.
Also, that could actually, hurt your career too, depending on how many psycho fans you got. They don't want you to be married.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
I never really thought about that.
No.
That's why some of the artists didn't say if they were in relationships or not,
Think about
because
it.
you have to be.
Rappers like Snoop, Too Short.
Denzel got a wife.
Yeah.
I ain't going to no more movies.
Yeah. Rappers like Snoop, Too Short. We didn't know nobody was married.
I recently found out that Snoop was
exactly. So they had to go.
No, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going.
Right. Keep going.
No, I was about to say, a lot of people they like to give out that perception like they single to keep away the crazies.
Well, yeah, because you have to be the man that women want to be with. You have to be the woman that men want to be with.
But see, now times have changed. Now they love it when you married.
So because they don't want the responsibility.
So is that why Chris Brown hasn't?
No, he just heard. He just heard.
Okay.
You heard residual.
Free Chris.
But I just read an article. They said that people that are obsessed with celebrities have low intellect.
Really?
That's interesting. I don't agree with that because what if the person that you are liking has high intellect
within the celebrity?
I was obsessed.
He's still upset. That's why he's stumbling on his word.
Sheila E.
Patti LaBelle. I used to love.
You were obsessed.
Yes,
I was still upset. She walked in the door and said, "Not to fall out."
I'm eating it right
He
there.
like,
I'm eating it right there.
I think you just have an infatuation. That's not an obsession.
I don't have no infection. I got rid of that when I was 21.
Does it go hand in hand?
No, I mean because it's an obsession.
She used her hands in it. She used her hand over hand.
That's obsession. That's what I think obsession is.
You think so?
Obsession to me gets to
obsession to me is that I'm obsessed with you. Everything about you.
There's a movie called Obsession.
Look, y'all say what y'all want to. When I found out that Angela Bassett was married to Courtney Vance, I was feeling some kind of way.
And he from Detroit, so that really hurt your feelings.
Yeah, that was personal. Oh, really?
So he got to see me about it.
And he's from Detroit, so that probably
What's
really
love got to do with it?
Shit, I would have walked in like, hey, auntie.
Shout out to Angela. She is very talented and she looks amazing at her age.
She's the highest paid black actress on the TV series right now.
Because Meet the Browns.
Well deserved.
Right now, yeah.
She did her thing in Meet the Browns.
You said Meet the Browns.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
And she's done all these other movies?
She done.
Well, that's the one I like. That's the one I like.
Stop.
She done all these other movies and she said Meet the Browns.
That really, to me, that really felt like it was her son.
Tina Turner.
The other movies was Kitty Resistance. Stop.
Tina Turner was it.
Yeah.
Especially when she on stage.
I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see that one. That's probably why I didn't pick that.
Please.
Tell me what's wrong.
Actually, she did put me in the mind of Tina. When you can do that, actually, in the mind of person.
But then she had the arms.
Wait, do it again. Do it. Do it.
She can't do it. She can't do
You
it.
just a fool. No, you would.
It's the lip quiver.
You say.
Oh, did you do that? Did you do that?
You better stop it. Doc jumped across the table with that Ike smack.
Oh yeah.
No, you ain't gonna play with me because we gonna be in the back of the limo. Come on, that's all you got.
Okay.
You really watched the movie.
Yeah.
She was sure.
I watch movies. I'm a movie person.
Shandy not.
Did you?
No, she is. She's a Tubi movie person.
Thank you. Did you watch that?
I want to sleep.
We'll talk about
Give me some tissue, something for my
that
eyes.
was the shaky
Speaking
part.
of movies, who do y'all think gonna win best movie for the Oscars?
Ooh.
I don't know who nominated.
We don't know who might get nominated.
Yeah.
For best movie?
Let's keep going.
Friday gonna be nominated.
Not too much, Friday. Yeah.
I think 10 Toes Down is gonna be nominated.
That's probably gonna be nominated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't believe you. I gave you 30 minutes. I said 30.
What movie is this?
No, we don't. It don't
We'll
matter.
talk about it.
Okay.
There's something on my mind.
It ain't that movie. Hey, let's go to the top of that.
I had a really good feeling about that. Like,
I don't know how, because as soon as I got off the phone with you, baby, my eyes were
30 minutes.
No, thank you.
Hey, abuse. What part do you play? So we're gonna talk about this from our personal aspect, and then point the
Or
finger
we can
at
just do
somebody
it
else.
from male and women.
No, so
Nah.
I just feel like men be abused and they never talk about abuse when it goes to men. It's just always the women, and they like to cry victim all the time. And no disrespect to any woman that has been abused or anything like that, but I think
you about to get it.
No, I think it goes both ways.
It does.
Nobody talks about the man being abused.
Never.
No,
They
because-
don't.
because
They don't think it's real.
Because that's like talk about the man being raped by a woman or molested.
Nobody
Yeah,
Don't
people
talk
don't
about
think
it.
that that's a thing.
I've been raped quite a few times.
But they don't think about the man is abusing because he was abused.
Exactly.
Nobody
That's true.
talks about
I was
that.
abused by a woman.
You were abused.
I was too.
Absolutely.
Nobody talks about that.
So
Had to divorce.
we definitely gonna talk about that. But I got questions questions about that when you say it and when men say it, because a lot of things we've done as younger males, right? It was subject to come back to us sooner or later,
Right.
right? And these are some of the things what I have learned, because I was when it came down. I know where my abusive thing is to myself. One is believing in other people more than they believe in themselves. That's abusive for me, and in the end, it has been very abusive for me. However, another thing I've learned was I became abusive to myself when I stopped loving myself, right? And I believed in my lower desires versus my higher desires. I had to understand that everybody would not see my vision. You know what I mean? And I kept trying to force it and force it and force it.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing that men and women have a lot in common is the point of intimacy, right? The sexual part. And so I was a master manipulator sexually. You feel me? So I began to use my sexual acts is my draw. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Then I had the nerve to get, as I got older, I had the nerve to get mad because all women just wanted to have sex with me. So I was like, I put myself in this position. So that's why I say a lot of times when we get abused as we get older, because Jewel, you did not go through this abuse when you was like 20 or 30.
No, the abuse that I suffered is totally different, but there are different stages of abuse. I feel what you're saying, but my abuse is, like super totally different on a different plane. And now that I'm a spiritual counselor in said abuse, I can see where a lot of the errors came from, but I definitely was abused psychologically, physically, verbally by my ex-wife.
Right.
Absolutely.
So question though, what I'm going to ask you though, sometimes we have abuser's remorse. Like, right, we give people passes for shit that people gave us passes for.
I've done that.
It's been plenty of times, man, I swear to God, I want to bash somebody in the head, right? I'm a non-violent person, right? I'm not a thug, but I ain't no bitch neither, so it's a difference. And so when it came down to it, I was like, I'm just going. Then I'm like, damn, there's probably sometimes people want to bash me upside my head too, right? And so when I did, so
to this day.
To this day.
Okay.
What's
Heavy
good
on
about
that.
this is we can. I don't know if you'll even have enough time, Doc. But what's good about this is that we can cover multiple aspects of the topic abuse, but we will never be able to completely
get to the raw core of it. And I only say that because what I'm going to talk about is maybe totally different than anybody at this table, because I'm gonna deal with not just the scientific of it, but the spiritual of it. Yeah, and so that's
and that part I understand, because that's kind of getting to the root part of it, which is people view the attraction part and what's going on the inside of you.
It is the actual total cause and effects, but we keep missing out on. We never add those two together. We should be adding those two together.
Exactly.
But some people spiritually don't know how to differentiate what is the part of their religion, right? And part of their own ideology, and then how they living, right? Because you can't talk about, like me. I can be like, oh man, I've been abusive, but I just said how I just had relations with 2 other different women by manipulating them.
Yeah,
you feel me?
And also, like when that starts at a younger age too, you gotta be aware of who's seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if prime example in my upbringing, if people saw my mom treating me like I wasn't shit. What you think everybody else gonna do? People in my family, the women that I pick, if they watch this is what happens. So I ended up having to go through this type of stuff in my relationships because they saw my mom do me dirty. Right. You feel me? So when she did what she did, and I ended up getting into relationships with women that were similar, not just alike, but similar. Right. I'm like, something ain't right. Like, why am I going through this?
Because you accepted through your mother, so you was.
Well, that's where he got. That's where he got hurt.
There you go.
So that's where he started attracting subconsciously without him even knowing.
Yep.
Exactly.
We get wounded.
Yeah, and then spiritually, a lot of people don't know how to differentiate. First of all, when your spirits cannot dictate when you say, "Oh man, I'm having a bad day."
Right.
What you want me to do? You know, spirit be like, You know, they're kind of confused. You have to be direct. You have to speak with clarity, and you have to know what the hell you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And needing your life. Most people just want to sit up here and talk about, God, I just need my light bill paid. Right?
Figure out how to pay it. That's it.
Yeah, no, but it's a deeper need than that.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It's like, no, so what you need to do is stop tricking during the weekends.
Yeah. Or start. I mean, because if you ain't got no other type of income, what else you gonna do?
Right, but no, you got it right on that.
Kind of, but not.
Look, it's funny because when he thought I had to give him a little psych lab.
Yeah, I just think.
But even that comes from war.
I get it.
Okay. So, so when a lot of times, knowing how you be, I think the most important part of is not knowing how you've been abused, but how you've been abusing others.
Oh yeah.
And then a lot of those things will come, and then a lot of those things will come back to you like.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Top of the top, calling you on the air.
This is the Underrated Darkness.
What up,
Hello.
Hold on. Who is this?
Underrated Darkness.
Oh, Darkness. Hey, Darkness.
Hello.
What's going on, bro?
How y'all doing this morning?
Thank you for tapping back in again.
All right. Well, I hear about abuse and stuff, and I think that I gotta say this in all due respect that sometimes when us as men get abused, it's always something that it has to be something that we do, and I think that it has to be a truthfulness that comes with. Like for me, I said this on my channel. I was sexually abused when I was 11 by a grown woman. All right. Mm-hmm. So, but what happened was, the system that this would happen to me, but they swept under the rug. So, I decided myself through God that my time has passed. I'm gonna help others, like young boys and young girls.
No.
And so what happened? So this is the thing that is this that, and I want women to understand is that if you want men to be better, you have to tell them. You have to tell these women out here, because we got some men and some women are still predators.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And we have to understand. We have to call it down the line. We just cannot call it down the line just for one gender. We have to call it down the line of both genders. And I found out, and I'm being nice about, and I'm being very nice about saying this because I don't want to sound angry. I don't want to sound this, but when it comes to our young boys, the conversation always gets short. And I find that there are some men who don't really want to talk about it. Now, we say that we want strong families. Women hold women accountable, men hold men accountable. And I find out that throughout the years, there are some men that have been abused by mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Getting locked up for nothing because they try to defend themselves and they end up dying in jail or come back and the family act like they don't know what's going on. And then even family members like men that know about it, they did not go and save them. And also it goes for women too, because there are also women abuse young girls too. We gotta talk about that too. So all I'm saying is that if we gonna talk about abuse, let's talk about all, and let's find solutions to help all.
And we definitely gonna
thank you. I so much appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you, bro. Thank you for calling in,
bro. Thanks for your discussion.
For sure. What was you about to say, bro?
Yes, that can be. First of all, like I said before, we will never ever cover the complete topic of abuse because there's so many different directions of it. But yes, I was taken advantage of at 10 years old, and when people will say, "Oh man, you should feel good about," there was not only some grief in that, there was some guilt in that, there was me feeling like I was dirty. I just so and I didn't even think it could be. I hid it for years, and as a matter of fact, I didn't tell anybody till I was an adult. And come to find out, the same particular lady who did this you know, it became a member of the church that I had to end up preaching at.
Wow.
I mean, you know,
You wouldn't say.
Yeah, you know.
Wow.
And the thing about it is
I feel like that was necessary.
Yeah,
for her to
yeah.
be able to see where he, you know, had gotten to.
absolutely. And this is the thing, even though I was like 11, 12 when it happened, and I carried that weight for a long time, the thing was when I got grown, I had to realize the fact that this woman probably may not even, it might not even cross her mind. So
Yeah.
even approaching her about it, I had to think, is it going to offend me more that she doesn't even remember what she did or doesn't think of it in that way? So I completely forgave her, but
Yeah.
I had to move on. But you know, yeah, it does happen, and it pretty much has the same effect as if it was a man abusing a young woman.
That's an interesting perspective, though, because I feel like a lot of people don't know that they're abusing because they don't feel like their actions are. Because you know, nobody want to say like, yeah, I'm an abuser, I abuse people, you know, or I'm abusive. Nobody wants that title to their name.
So she was older,
Oh yeah, she was older.
and she touched you inappropriately,
Touched
or
me.
okay, that's what, I mean, you don't have to go into detail.
She had
I was
full
just
blown.
She went through the
was
whole
getting her
thing?
G
Okay.
on, yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And it was pretty much, you know, I was just there, just kind of, but I could, you know, some odd years later, I could still distinctly remember all the details, where, what was going on in the room.
Those things
the way
never
things
leave you.
looked, you know, the whole 9 yards. So the whole action of it, you know, happened, and people was like, "Well, how do you know you didn't enjoy it?" And you don't enjoy nothing. You feel like you took advantage of it.
Yeah, you said you felt that.
Yeah, and you typically don't be thinking about that at 10.
You was 10?
I was about 11 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt dirty. I couldn't talk about it. I just for weeks.
Yeah.
It just really felt
Because something good you would want to talk about and share.
I want to share all my shit when I was young.
Top of the top, Carly, you on the air.
I'm
Can
sorry.
be serious for 2 seconds.
I was serious.
Good morning, fam.
Good morning, Miss J. Cherise.
How are y'all doing?
Fine, how are you?
I ain't heard your voice in a while, Jay.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So my first abuser was my elders.
Wow.
Damn.
And that's how I see that in my head, because it came to a point where for them I was just being hard-headed, and for me, I told my grandmother one time, if the whoopings is for me to learn a lesson, when are you going to learn that I'm not learning the lesson this way?
Wow.
So what are the whoopings for? Is it for me or is it for you? Because I'm not going to do what you're telling me to do. I'm not. So what are we doing here?
What I learned is like whooping be almost like a job requisite, right? Like you have to do it. People feel like they have to do it so they can say they done it, because that's going to be the first thing that somebody going to ask you. Did you whip their ass? And the truth is, when you say no, I swear to God, the confusion on people's face, right?
Yeah.
So Jewel's biological nieces and nephews was the first children who I ever fell in love with, right? It was one of the first two. And so I learned so much from them. Like, I understand, like, whippings don't always work.
No, they don't.
They
Especially
don't.
when you start getting smart about getting your ass whooped.
And older.
Throwing on them extra jogging pants.
Well, shout out to Man. He was showing people ass whooping. It didn't even matter. He was jumping off the couch head first, and he was like, that ass whooping is not really gonna do too much. I'm gonna cry.
I'm going head first.
Honestly, are you whooping to correct, or
That's it? Because a lot of people don't even explain after the whooping.
It's just a prerequisite
to psychologically change the mindset for what you might do.
Exactly. So when Jewel would grab him, Jewel would say, "Hey, sit right there." Right? Now he got to be still.
Right.
So things happen in order, but I think whippings is necessary when whippings are necessary, when show them that their life could have been in danger, when they about to put a knife inside an electrical socket, when they playing with knives and shit like that. However, sometimes you can just talk to a child.
Yeah, I mean, getting a bad grade in school, I don't think you need a whooping for that.
Yeah. A lot of people feel like
if
you
you
do,
got a bad
though.
grade 5 times in a row.
Well, hey,
No,
maybe
but
they
that's
might
still-
not understand what's
yeah,
going on.
exactly,
What are you talking about?
exactly.
Some kids don't learn at the same same rate.
They don't.
But I tell you, but
I'm not gonna whoop you if you don't understand something.
A rate of a good ass whipping on the fourth time, I guarantee you they say, "Hey, teacher, can I stay after?" You know, because what I learned
there can be another form of discipline.
It can be.
It can. This is the problem is this. First of all, and I'm always going to come from a spiritual aspect. I try to. First of all, the problem is if you have, I wage whether I whoop, but I wage whether or not I'm going to whoop you upon the intellect that I see in you.
You're right.
You can't be.
That makes sense.
You can't be. If you're messing up in school, but when you're at home, you have exceeded the challenge level 5,050 on a game.
Right.
Then you have the mental capacity to understand right and wrong and directions.
Yeah.
So those things show me that you can apply that in school. And if I've told you softly, you need to get it right. And I told you sternly, you need to get it right. And I told you this way, and I've taken some games away.
Yeah.
And I did this, and I did all of this. It's time to go to another level.
Yeah.
Look, I'll cast you out in the name of Jesus. It's time to put the gloves on.
Yeah.
Spare the rod, you will spoil the child. So, we're going to try all these aspects, but you are correct. Some people do not learn at a different level. That's why I look at your other behaviors. What are you real meticulous about? Because if you can get it right with that, you can get it right with this.
So, Joe, I was just talking. Me and Shane had a conversation about this yesterday. That's how I try to teach people. Like, don't say you cannot. If you can put your focus in this one thing and do it, apply the same combination of putting your focus into something else.
Yeah.
Everything in life is all the fucking same if you really think about it. We think it's so hard because it's labeled different, the title different. Life is the same way. You know what I mean? Again,
you gotta take the good with the bad.
All the
and
time.
sometimes that abuse make you better. Like it don't look like it is happening at the time,
right.
But at the end of the day, at some point you end up helping out other people that's going through it, that went through something way worse.
I say, man, my mother passed in 2011. That was Doc's mom. My mom were cool and tight. I don't care what nobody say. I done took a many. Right. Sometimes I be going down the street and just hear the sound. I be looking around, even as a grown man, I still hear my mother's voice.
All the time.
It helped me. It helped keep me in line.
And I don't think being abused, especially like when it comes down to being molested, is cool. But I do thank God that it was by a woman, because it's a lot of dudes out here that got messed around with by men, and they are psychologically bold.
I believe in discipline. I don't necessarily believe in abuse.
Right.
No, because you said sometimes it's good.
No. What I meant was, I'm talking about the actual ass whippings. Like
it could be a form of discipline. And I think that's fine. But I think some parents do abuse.
They definitely do
abuse. Parents don't know how to whip. They just use that as a form of everything.
I swear, taking the anger out.
Taking the anger out of their children.
I'd be in a store seeing, a little child will touch them just lightly. They'll snatch them up and me pop. I'm like,
and I hate when I've seen girls, call their sons stupid.
Yeah, I hate the verbal abuse.
Chest, like, you so stupid.
Kids be so young, and I'll be like,
what you doing to that boy?
I'm gonna tell you why they doing it, because they believe they're taking the replacement of the father.
Right. But and
fathers don't even.
You don't have to do that. Just his voice alone.
I've seen some fathers be abusive in that manner, and then I've seen some fathers talk to their boys in a totally different way. So it depends.
That never worked for me.
But when you hear a child, when father telling the child they're stupid, because 9 times out of 10 they've been disciplined, and they ask you, "Do you want to be stupid?" Like, perfect example, my daughter, I said, when you leave out of here and you go to school, you are representation of who? She be like, you. So am I stupid? No. Okay. I need for you to do your work. You know what I mean? I say, because if you get a bad grade, I get a bad grade.
Right.
And as I talked to her, she started
some of that same time.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way of describing it.
Look, if Timmy is passing, you better be passing.
Because at the end of the day,
yo, Reese, when you
she's still on the phone.
Yeah, well, you
yeah, because I ain't get my 2 minutes.
We did just get this fucked up at one point.
I was just about to ask you, when you were growing up, not when you were growing up, but when your kids were growing up, did you use that same ideology when they were in school?
The ideology that I use with my daughters in school is, if you get a C, you getting the fuck out of my goddamn house, because a C means that you're not damn trying.
Yeah.
And I go to work every goddamn day, and I get paid for that. The way you get paid is A's and B's. You don't get paid with C's. And C's mean you getting the fuck out of my house, because I don't have to in the house inability or be okay with you not giving it your all. So my daughters have been A's and B students since they've been in school. My youngest daughter, first C, was in 10th grade at Renaissance, and that's because now she's at a school where it's predominantly black, where before she wasn't at schools like that, and now she wants to be Miss Popular and just show her ass. So I had to snatch her up out of there and put her back in a predominantly white school to show her, A, I'm not playing with you, and B, you're better than this.
Right.
So once she got her act together for 11th grade, because I made her do 11th grade at a predominantly white school, then I allowed her to go back to Renaissance, and she graduated on the honor roll.
Fire.
That's what's up. So even and I'm gonna show you how petty people can be. People would say what she did was an abusive move, right? She knew what was best for her child. All children do not respond to everything the same way as other children.
No,
because either they didn't have the parenting behind them, and or they didn't have no. A lot of parents don't even push kids to the limits no more. Because a lot of parents, oh my God, they'll commit suicide. Because the first thing kids be like, I'm gonna kill myself. Right. And the truth of the matter is, we have to know how to gauge our children and listen to them and hear them out clearly, because sometimes we listen too loosely and they are suicidal. Sometimes we listen too harsh, you know what I mean, and we let them go with a pass and act like God and try to show them grace, when we need to really just show them how Jay did it. She said, okay, you know what you've been doing, I'm gonna take you out this, get your shit together, and then I'll let you go back once your shit together. You feel me? So I applaud you, Jay, on that move. That was dope.
Thank you. So I want to say this, and then my second abuser was my sister. So my father was murdered when I was in the 6th grade, and that did something to my sister. And despite my family telling my mother that she needed to get my sister help, back in that day, black families, we didn't go see therapists. We didn't want the white man in our business.
Right.
So my sister took her anger out on me, which then in turned me to allow men to take their anger out on me, because why not? My sister loves me, right?
Right.
And she doesn't want to hurt me. This is because she loves me. Right. So now I have men telling me that they love me, and I've allowed men to. I've been pistol whipped. I've been thrown out a window. I've been drowned.
Thank God you're still here.
Some very torturous shit. And one day, an abuser of mine, he swung on me from behind and hit me in my mouth. And as badly as that hurted, I don't know, something snapped. And all I heard was a voice that said, no more, stand up and beat his ass. And from that moment on, unfortunately, I then became an abuser. So anytime a man would say something that would trigger me, I immediately gave them the 5 hands of fellowship. But backhand the hell out of them, and and then we'll pop off like, let's go, like let's go. But and I didn't realize at the time that I was wrong. Like, I thought I was justified because I tell all men what my triggers are, and if you trigger me, now you gonna have to deal with what happens once I'm triggered.
Well, I would like to speak to something in that aspect.
Okay.
Even though we haven't even got on the subject yet of the psychological abuse from me being married to a narcissist, I think that's information that people should hear about. But sister, I really, really want you to consider possibly having some type of spiritual intervention, if for no other reason, so that you are not captivated and If you're not captivated by whatever that may trigger you, your mind should be set free. What actually you're doing is when a person says that they're going to shield themselves from the dangers that might happen, what you're actually doing is you're aligning yourself with the protection of demonic forces. You're not allowing God to heal you. This is why there has to be some type of deliverance spiritually. So a lot of people who are abused in certain aspects, physically, psychologically, verbally, could be free from those things, so you won't have to be on guard. You have a discernment to know whether or not you should be in a circumference with someone. But what you don't want is a relationship where you always feel like you have to be on guard from someone. You will be protected if you're aligning with the positive forces instead of aligning with a protective force that is really against you, because it's not going to allow you to be free.
Oh.
That's real.
It is.
That is real. Now, I did get some therapy, and I've since then I've healed from some of it. I haven't unpacked all of it, but I have healed from a lot of it. So now the things that used to trigger me, I'm no longer triggered in the response of now I got to get you before you get me. Now I'll just walk away and be like, you know what, you got this.
Think of it like this, and I'm gonna keep this less than 3 seconds. Think of it like this. Please don't allow your past to control your future.
Right.
Because I mean, he's very right. Very true. But and it's so easy to go back to where you was because it's a familiar place. And a lot of times in depth when we are going through, those be our safe places because we used to them, even if they are harmful.
But you're not lining up with the positive protection. You're lined up with the negative protection when you feel you're on guard. And some people just don't know how. I'm glad. I hope what I had to say and contribute today will help some people, because they don't know. They are feeling comfortable with locking themselves in a protection mode, but that's not a positive. That's not a positive attribute. Nope. If you truly are saying you are allowing God to fix some situation, or the positive forces to fix the situation, you cannot say the words like this: I'm not gonna let nobody da 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 da. When you say that, you're actually aligning with the negative forces.
Because that's what.
And you walk throughout life with that protection mode, but it never really even protects you. It makes you keep you bitter, and you will not be free.
Well, yeah, because I always think about it like the inner child that's hurt. Right? Yeah. So when you go and cover yourself, it really hurt because you felt unprotected. So when you say things like that, it's like, well, I'm going to protect myself because I didn't feel protected at this point.
You walk around daily with an open wound.
Exactly.
We appreciate you calling in, Reese.
Like you said, confront. Well, confront.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Guys, go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, thank you so much.
So, are we gonna deal with this psychological narcissistic thing?
Come on with it.
I dealt with it. The thing is
you're talking about the abuse part.
Yeah, people we throw around that word narcissist, but we really don't understand the spiritual aspect of it. The scientific word is narcissism. That's scientific, but the actual spiritual demonic thing is that is the Jezebel spirit. The Jezebel spirit is aligned with that. It's a mind controlling demon. First, when people hear about Jezebel, they think about sexual things. No, Jezebel was a self-professed prophetess who came to destroy those who were really pretty much important to the kingdom. She came to try and align them to serve a lower God than God Almighty.
Wasn't it Baal?
And Baal. Yeah, Baal, which is where we got the fashion brand Balenciaga. But that's another story.
That's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother story. But the fact of the matter is, and this is the problem, if you have special gifts and you might not even know about them, you have special gifts and discernment, that spirit is coming from you.
Yep.
You may not even know you have it. That spirit is coming for you, and it's coming for you through someone you love.
Yep. It's gonna come to it's happening right now with me. It's happening with me.
We can do a high five across the table on that.
They're trying to get to me through my kids. So
Oh, you know what, Doc? I'm here to confirm.
Don't use
that. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna say he got 20. Go ahead.
I am a spiritual counselor in said subject. I'm a spiritual counselor for it. I get people up out of bad relationships, bad marriages, of that. And yes, sir, yes, Brother Todd, they do come through your children. They come through any loved one. If you have special gifts, and these are gifts that you may not even know of, that was Jezebel's purpose. And if we keep separating the narcissistic scientific term from the demonic term of Jezebel, that spirit, we ain't gonna never correct it. Now here's a little pain that I'm about to drop on the church. People say, well, where do you even learn how to even know about that? Before I indict the church, let me go to the point of where, as people say, well, didn't you know the signs? Can't you see the signs? Well, first of all, you can't know a sign that you weren't taught. Okay,
that's true.
And when you now, and where do you get that type of teaching? You need to get that type of teaching and discernment within the church, but churches ain't teaching it.
No,
they're
they don't.
teaching prosperity. Some are teaching prosperity. They're not teaching healing. They're not teaching the fullness of the Word of God, which are those evil spirits that are out there and what they need to be looking for. So it's not a tearing down people's lives. And here's another bomb drop: some narcissists out here are preachers. Cool.
Well,
Some preachers out here are narcissists, so they're not able to even give that deliverance to an individual because they're of that same certain mindset. You know, when people are supposed to come for a particular healing in church, they don't.
Well, some people in the church, they're not teaching the spiritual aspect as far as like spiritual warfare.
Exactly.
And some of them don't even believe in that. So that's another reason why we're having that problem in the church.
All right, and when it's not dealt with, it spills out there in our families. That's why Todd is going through something with his children. I'm going through something with my children. I've been in a relationship where it was perfect, and then here that spirit come from because we're not praying against it.
Well, and that's why it's so against the marriage part, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And this is why married couples have to do certain things. It's attacking that, as you can see. It's a huge attack on marriage.
You said your marriage is perfect. How did it wind up being abusive? Well, Adam and Eve was perfect. But they had the decision that they had made within the garden after they were given instructions. Look, God is not God is not the micromanager of your blessings, your relationship, your house, your home, the whole 9 yards.
Say that. Oh no, stop! You ain't not about to blow past that one.
God is not the micromanager of your blessing. And he give you a car, he give you a home, he give you a marriage, a relationship, a job. It's your job to maintain. It doesn't mean it wasn't perfect. Doesn't mean it wasn't a blessing from him. You decide to use effectively the gift that he gave you was a gift of choice. You either chose to mess it up by something you did or said, or you didn't chose to be applicable upon that gift that God was giving you, the maintenance of. He is not the person who's supposed to maintain your blessing.
So basically, God is always providing everything. It's your job to maintain it.
Exactly.
That's the part that they don't teach you in the church.
Exactly.
And then a lot of people, they get mad at God because they always want to place blame back on God when God has already done his part.
I don't see why they don't get it
because it's not being taught.
But it's taught in the very first teachings of the first family of humanity.
Yeah, but people aren't teaching that.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, they don't even have Bibles no more.
No, they're reading off their phone.
On their phone, and hold on, and other devices.
Yeah,
other
devices. Other languages.
In other languages. Not go there.
So what I'm saying
with you on that. Go back to cussing, Doctor. Ain't dealing with you.
Oh shit. Okay. No, but seriously, people don't understand that if they believe in spirits, they have. If a person believes in spirituality, they have to understand there's different spirits and different things.
But the crazy part is some people don't even believe in it to that degree, which is interesting because it's in the Bible that he created the visible world and the invisible world.
There you go.
And it's in Corinthians. 1 Corinthians.
Yes.
So Todd, man, on that subject, bro, your children, and your children can be used, your spouses can be used, and it's not personal. We are looking at the person. It's not the person.
Well, then that takes us to Ephesians.
They have to be responsible for the demonic thing that's allowed. They are going to pay that price, but it's that spiritual thing, that the demonic thing, you really have to be fighting against. It will come through your children. It's coming through children that I have right now. Yeah, some of the ones you helped raise, sir. It came through my spouse. We got a divorce. She has people are like, no. And that's what we're dealing with as another thing you're
not fighting against flesh and blood.
Exactly. But people like, not that gorgeous woman you were with. Oh, she's just yeah.
Because that's people judging.
That's what she can hide behind, essentially.
That's judging the book by its cover, though. At the end of the day,
so
like
me telling people she didn't stab me. She said major abusive, emasculating things. She psychologically tried to abuse, but she's responsible for all of that.
Hold on, is this the one that hit you with the car?
Yeah, she ran me over.
So how long did you deal with that?
I'm so glad you asked that. And I didn't know of that spirit at the time. I've heard of that, but I didn't know the exacting of what that spirit. Now these people work. And don't be fooled. These ain't somebody who's gonna be, psycho mad one day, know, and like that all the time. These people can work a good job.
Yep.
My ex-wife was a scientist, doc. She worked her job 9 to 5, good mother, the whole 9 yards. But when that spirit temporarily comes within them to destroy and try to break down whatever the gifts that's within you comes, and it comes in and out, and you're not praying against it, whether it's in your children, your significant others, dude, you gotta, and you don't know how to deal with it. You're thinking it's just a bad relationship. We'll get over it. No, it's not that.
Nah,
it's not that.
And you gonna see the signs too. That's the thing. Men gotta stop not paying attention to those red flags. That was probably the worst thing that I did was not pay attention or just ignored it. I saw the red flag. I ignored it. Tried to turn it orange or yellow, some shit. And that's where I went wrong. That's exactly where I went wrong. And I prolonged the situation that should have been deaded a long time ago, before my second child was even involved. And
so
but how long?
Let's get it right. He said he saw the signs. What he said, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Todd.
Yeah,
he saw some similarities of it. Now, I said you had to be taught the signs of narcissism. Those are two different signs. What I believe Todd was mentioning is the same as what I was doing. I was seeing signs of things, but just brushing it off as.
It'll get better.
It'll get better.
Like, how long did you deal with
it? We were not taught that those could be demonic signs of Jezebel and those spirits attacking the people who are anointed and gifted. Y'all keep looking at this stuff personally. It ain't personal. It's demonic. It's spiritual warfare.
So, Joel,
and the churches ain't
Joel,
teaching.
Brittany asked a question. How
long did you deal with that?
How long did I deal with it? I probably dealt with it the better of the last 6 months. And I'm gonna tell you, the way it specifically happened to me, that we were married, I'll say about 4 years. The worst of it came out in the last 4 months, and I'm going to tell now. Everybody's situation is different. I was given a spiritual conference to breaking your strongholds, psychologically, spiritually, on people's mind, but. In me being naive, I didn't have a team praying for the specific things. I didn't have individuals warfaring on my behalf, and I did not realize that the enemy was going to actually appear and come through my wife. I was naive. I'm thinking we team, we perfect, right? But Satan don't want nobody out here trying to unlock minds that he been spending thousands of years locking up. So it came for me in full attack, and I had no allies spiritually. So for about out of the 4 years, you see little glimpses of little stuff here and there. We had spiritual counseling. We had marriage counseling, not spiritual counseling. That's two different things. We had marriage counseling, not spiritual counseling, and things were getting okay. And it's like the last 6 months, it was getting worse and worse and worse. And the more closer I got to that delivered conference, it was a trifecta. It was an all out. We're gonna shut down the marriage. We're gonna shut down the church. We're gonna shut down the ministry, the whole 9 yards. So that's pretty much it. I'm writing a book on it right now, as a matter of fact.
So you were married for 4 years?
I was married for 4 to 5 years.
But you said it got bad towards the last 6 months.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I wasn't yielding to, and at that time, and that was in the teens of years, 2019, I was out of there. But at that time, I did not know all the things that God had prepared for me, what I'm doing right now in 2025. I didn't know when I was going through all of that, that right now I teach Greek, Hebrew, studied biblical classes to the United States, to England, to the UK, to Africa. That's, these are things that I'm doing right now. So that sometimes the Satan is peeking to your future and use Jezebel to stop from what's going on, and you may not even know your purpose because you can't see that far. So in this day, I'm seeing and living the purpose of back in 2019 when Shiva came for me. When Jezebel,
Shiva, that's fire.
Shiva came for me through people that you love, including my children and my ex-wife. I didn't know. I was just, doing my thing in ministry, but that's a serious thing.
Is it safe to say that most times men just accept the jabs and the punches that are thrown to them? Because we feel like that's what we're supposed to.
We feel like we have to, yeah.
Right.
And then especially
we were taught that,
especially for our kids.
I have a question as soon as we get to the caller.
Top caller, you on the air?
This underrated darkness again. I appreciate what the brother is saying, but I gotta say this though. I forgot to finish the story, and I'm gonna get off. When one of my people I grew up in New York with, he was into counseling. He said, "I have somebody that you can go and see." And what happened was when I went to see the counselor, because I made my mind then, but I still thought I need help. And what happened was when I went to the counselor, I stayed for 2 hours. They said it was my fault.
No, absolutely not.
And so, right. This is what I'm saying.
And this is why I want people to understand. I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want people to understand. When you're going to counselor, you can't, if it's a spiritual nature, something that's demonic, it's spiritual, and that's the most thing that we need as far as healing. We can't go to regular counselors. You got to go to somebody who,
So I would say this, and it's crazy. I've been, some say it's prophetic, but however, I talk to the dead a lot. And so I didn't feel too good the other night.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, they just didn't cross. A lot of them didn't cross over yet, because when they cross over, there's no physical hearing. I heard physical hearing the other day, and I'm laying in the bed. It's like 11:30 in the night, right? I heard this, not clear. It ain't from downstairs. It sounded like it was right at my bedroom door, and I said, "Come in," and I sat up.
Oh, you did the Sinners movie.
No, not Sinners movie, because
just finish.
I said, "Come in," and it was nothing there. And it was, now I said, I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to get my attention,
right,
to wake up, because I know how to suffocate my voices, and they were trying to get my attention,
right.
And I said, "Come in," because one thing you cannot allow, if God give you a gift, you can never deny that gift.
Yeah, you cannot.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Yeah.
And when I say,
when you do heal, so it'll be so suppressing. You figure out you will need it, and then you won't have it.
That's what made me do that, right? And so people, a lot of times, spiritual things is not always warfare. Sometimes sometimes you have to accept your assignment, and most people are not willing to accept their assignment.
That part.
Well, some people don't know the difference when they're in warfare or not.
That's the bad part about this, because she will come for you whether you've accepted it or not, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
Because they know. They know, Ty.
Yeah,
they know you got gifts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they know.
They know you got gifts, Ty, personally. So whenever you are, even whether you're exercising or not, those she will, the crew, they're coming for you. They coming through the people that you love, because they know that those are the emotional things that you're going to be hurt by.
Yeah. And it is weird too, because it's like everybody taking turns now. Like it's like everybody. It's like
past one thing and tell somebody else.
Yeah, but the good thing about me is now that I'm no longer a hothead, I'm calm. I'm able to see things happening. I'm able to see things happening before they happen. So every week it's like, okay, baby, I bet you this is about to happen next. It's about to be this person's turn. All of that, everything has been happening like clockwork. Caller, go ahead. What you was about to say, man?
No, I was saying that after I left from there, and that's when I really made my mind and thought, the system has failed me. And I can't imagine what other people had to go through. And then, like the brother said, it was constant prayer. You know what I mean? I had to pray to God, to help me get through this and everything, because like I said, my time was over and stuff like that. And I want people to understand, just listen to the brothers and sisters, what they're saying, but I also I'm saying it's a spiritual warfare, and to kind of find out, like this was like a year before I got married in '95 when I was engaged. I seen her, and I said, "You know what you did, right?" And she laughed at it.
Wow. Who was laughing?
You know what? And then so when the brother said that I forgave you, I couldn't see at that time. I said, "Nah, I couldn't forgive her because she was a woman. She was going to she was raised in the church, you know. So both her parents was pastors and stuff. So I looked at, I said, I couldn't. So I prayed for you, but I could not forget because you supposed to show love. I said, you know, yeah, it was just something just happened. You have to get over it. I said, but you supposed to be a woman of God. But I had to pray and understand I was engaged at the time. So I said, I cannot be the same when I get married the next year. And so at that time, I had to leave it in God's hands.
That's all you can do. Yeah, that's all you can do. And
I'm going to leave it like that. But thank y'all. I appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
I appreciate you pulling. I appreciate you saying all that, and the fact that you had an opportunity to cross that person's path. I want everybody to know, people may not deserve your love. They may not deserve your forgiveness. They may not deserve your forgiveness or attention. That ain't what the scripture says. It's in Matthew 6. It says you have to forgive them their trespasses, so that God can actually forgive your trespasses. Some people don't know that they are making trespasses, but you need to be able to forgive and also forgive yourself, because God won't forgive you if you're not forgiving. It's not about whether they deserve your love. It's not about whether they deserve your attention. God say, love those that hate you, pray for those who despitefully use you, and bless those who curse you. We're looking at blessing and love and all those things are different assets, but we don't understand that what God is asking us to do is the actual antidote. Love is an antidote. The people may not deserve your love, but it's not your love to deny giving it. Number one, so it's the antidote. Another thing is when I speak of Sheba or speak of the spirit of Jezebel, it's not a feminine thing. Even though she was a female, men can get the same spirit. This is why that the narcissistic thing can come through anyone. That spirit is not prejudiced to being used through females or men. It'll just come. So I'm gonna yell at that point. I
got a question about narcissism. So I believe that everyone is anywhere between 3 to 4 words to 1 to 2 sentences away from narcissism. Okay. Right? So I look at narcissism as a product that we actually purchase in a sense that we accept this product. You know how you buy something at the store and you're like, fuck it, I got it, I might as well use it. Yeah. That's what I think. Now, a habitual narcissist, kind of a little bit different.
I like that theory.
It's a repeated offender.
So here's the thing. You do have that choice to receive it, but whatever it is in the store that may look good may not be good. But here's another thing. You don't just get it by purchasing it to accept it. Most of the people who are turn into narcissists or they already have narcissistic residue from somebody who abused them.
Because I was going to bring up, I'm sorry, sharing how I feel about your biological sister. Like Marissa used to be able to walk across Davidson and stop cars. Like literally. Like you'd be like, it was ridiculous. And at one time I said that was kind of narcissistic of us to even think that shit was cute. You feel me? That's actual just narcissism through visual.
Yeah.
And it ain't no form of manipulation, because at the end of the day, she can be like, you stopped me.
True.
Like you can say, you stopped me. You asked me this. You gave me that. So again, narcissism is it's a word that no one can define as a whole, but have direct links to it every day, all day.
It does have a lot of legs.
Telly, you had a question.
Yes, I'm not condoning abuse. However, do you ever feel like
choking is allowed? No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not condoning abuse, but do you ever feel like, as far as the what part do you play? Do you feel like you were ever the trigger for somebody to be abusive? Was it by action? No. Was it by action? Was it verbally?
No, it was verbally. For me, it was verbally.
No, So here's the thing. Here's the thing. For some people, yeah, but in my particular case, all you have to do is be gifted.
Oh, see now.
Okay, I'm gonna explain like this.
Wait, hold on. Okay,
I'm gonna explain like I'm gonna do it biblically. I'm gonna try to do this less than 60 seconds. I'm gonna do it biblically.
Okay.
I call it the Judas jab or the Jesse jab, and I really want y'all to pay attention to this. Jesus had already said throughout the Bible that he knew who was going to be betrayed. He didn't know by who. He knew he was going to lay his life on the cross. He didn't know at what time it was. I could tell you the exact time that he knew it was. See, Satan is always waiting back in the cut, ready to give you the Judas jab or the Jesse jab or the Sheba jab, the jab that goes into you that injects the animosity, the hatred at that point, and he looks for an opportunity. So did y'all do something? Maybe a slight little argument here and there, but it didn't deserve what came after that. So let me tell you what happened with Jesus and Judas. Mary was rubbing his feet with spikenard oil, and it was expensive. See, most of us always say, we know that Judas is the person that betrayed him. No, Judas just wasn't the person that betrayed. He became the betrayer, but he was the tax man. He was the trusted one. As a matter of fact, he may have been one of the trusted out of the whole entire 12 because of that. But you can't bring your job home. So she rubbing his feet with the spikenard oil, which is expensive even to this day. And Judas said, yo, why you rubbing Jesus? Why don't you do something about that? And the fact that Jesus didn't check her and say, stop rubbing my feet with the spikenard oil, the fact that Jesus said, checked him and said, let her do it. He got in his feelings. And then, that was the time for the jab. That was the time Satan put the jab in there with the animosity. And it was at that moment when Jesus didn't check Mary, but actually checked him and gave the go-ahead. He got in his feelings and became the betrayer. And it was at that moment, at the feast, he knew that was going to be the individual. So you ain't got to do nothing, but just disagree. But you don't know that Satan and Jesse is sitting back waiting for the jab, and you ain't praying against it.
So you feel like it can be something that can initiate it, but it shouldn't. Nothing should be big enough for it to get to the abuse.
You got to
part.
be on your P's and Q's. We can't be running around here not having no type of spiritual connection, knowing we came from.
So, you came from a religious perspective on that.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to say that in the defendant's case that we're going to take that away. No, but
we always in the courtroom. Yeah,
I say a lot of cases.
But I was going to say that had nothing to do with the Jezebel spirit or the devil. It was God's timing, because when God let Jesus know, Jesus didn't let everybody else know.
See, hold up. I love
the way you said that.
When God let Jesus know, Jesus didn't let everybody know Judas was the one.
So here's the truth, but the truth of that matter is,
I'm gonna answer your question.
God is the only individual. God is the only being that can make whatever negative situation positive. Yeah. But he don't always choose to. That's why he give us the gift of choice. We can make it positive or not make it positive. He can come in and correct it all. He don't like to do that, but he give you the guidelines. So yes, in that aspect, yes, Doc, I would have to agree with you in that aspect. But could it have been another way? No. It may have, it could have, but then will we be confessing Christianity to this day?
The example had to be made. That's all.
Now, Telly, to answer your question, yes, I've definitely been a trigger for people. Because the problem is, a lot of people
don't believe he was a trigger.
I was about to say, you did something.
Was this verbal or action?
It was verbal. So what was happening was somebody
every time.
But here's the problem, though.
I swear,
people be thinking. See, and this has just got to do with the short man curse. Like,
you don't have a curse time.
People be thinking,
hey, how tall are you?
No, it's the truth.
Don't put a curse on you.
No. It's not a curse on
me. He didn't mean it like that.
No. Listen,
because I really want to know.
Listen.
If God said it, no, good.
Y'all be killing me today. Listen. Anyway, what I was trying to say was because of that, people don't be expecting for me to strike. They be looking like, oh, he ain't about to do this, he ain't about to do that. So as I was in the previous relationship, somebody just kept yapping away. Most of the time I'm chill until I'm not. right? So at some point, I was just like, you know what? Today I'm not having it. And I snapped. When I snapped, oh my God, I can't believe you said that to me. So I was like, no, you wanted to keep poking the bear. Here's the bear. How you doing? There you go.
So I agree with that.
Well, okay. Are y'all okay with the?
You know, this is gonna flip it. What did Jesus do to get that flipped it?
That's wild
what
work.
Did Jesus do in order for it to work against him? But see, that's the whole thing. Even I am never trying to look at nothing natural again. I have to look at it spiritual, Todd, because even though you say it was your mouth, but what pushed you to that point? What poked the line? Because I use that
because that's what I was about to say. Because you were triggered.
The continuous talk.
So that's thank you, Telly. That's exactly what it was. If I'm not,
that's what I said. That mouth would do it is very.
I'm the type of person
that he was triggered and he was in control of himself.
No, it's because I'm cool until I'm not, and it's like I've given ample opportunity.
But you're only in control of yourself and how you deal with things. So this is what
was happening.
He was triggered.
It was an argument.
At that particular time.
It was an argument that I tried to diffuse. When I was trying to diffuse the argument, I'm like, listen, this ain't. Are we about to get a divorce? Are we about to break up? Are we about to live separately? Like, no. Listen. Hear me out. I said if this is not going to be the case, let's just sweep this shit under the rug and keep it moving until we're able to talk about it.
Tough.
So once that happened, it kept being extra chatter that didn't need to be. I'm already trying to diffuse it. It ain't that big of a deal. Shut up.
But who are you to say that extra chatter didn't need to be?
It didn't. Because if I'm trying to diffuse the situation,
it did. But that's the thing. Like
I recognize that there was a problem. But if we can't talk about it like adults, let's leave it alone for right now.
So
that's
if we do what we say we gonna do, and this is no indictment on anybody, I'll put it on myself. I'm not gonna ever get married again. I'm gonna get married again, but I'm not ever getting married again without encompassing me, her, and God at all times.
That's real.
Period. And even in those situations, even though
I say that too loud.
So it's okay to confess that when you're at the altar, but you got to live that every single day. And sometimes we are not. When we get in these arguments and these feuds, we think it's personal, but it's not. It's demonic. It's spiritual. We know the enemy is against unity, the whole 9 yards. So if y'all ain't at least saying, you know what, hold up, I know I just called you a skank, but I'm sorry, I apologize. Can we just stop and pray?
Well, here's the thing. At what part are we apologizing? At what point in the game are we apologizing? Because some people be like to apologize too late. And that's the thing.
If y'all recognize Jesse beforehand, see, that's the thing. Y'all making
you just said I couldn't see the flags though.
Yeah. If you are originally making an incorporation and we're gonna do this with God, then you have to have that to actually fall back on, actually come to so that we can defeat all the issues that's going on. It's got to be spiritually based. It's gonna always be chaotic.
No, I wasn't saying
I was gonna give y'all a book to read that I think y'all should read, and it's with Spiritual Warfare and Strongman.
Yeah.
Okay,
so it's called Spiritual Warfare. Strongman is his name. What's his game?
Okay.
So and that would give you a different type of things to look for when things are happening spiritually and how to pray against that.
Would y'all let Miles talk? Because he been doing sign language.
I literally was trying to get it out, so there was no need for him to talk.
Thank you, Brittany. But thank you, Todd. So here's the thing with y'all as married people, right? One thing I learned about
well, he's not married no more.
No. Listen,
but he's been married.
He said he's going to go. He said he's going to go back.
Yeah.
Todd, how many times you been married?
3.
Todd been married 3 times. Here's what I tell people all the time.
I can't count my second marriage. Anyway,
you can.
Wait, so you've been married more than one?
Yeah.
Well, my first marriage.
So you'll count that one.
I don't want to cut off my.
No, too late. You already did it. Go ahead.
My first marriage.
Good response.
I had an amicable divorce. I was on the low totem pole in ministry when we got married. Her parents were deep in the ministry. So as we began to go higher and higher, and my calling became what it was, she was like, I'm really not feeling it. I had to totally respect that. And her, I even to this day, she was like, Jewel, I want a divorce. just let it be amicable. We had already had a son, but she had a son before I met her. She was like, all I want you to do is stay in my son's life. I thought that was insulting because I was going to do it anyway.
Right.
You know, now my man's is 22 years old, high credit score, college graduate. You know what I'm saying? Got his own fashion brand. Jerry is love you, son. But anyway, we did get an amicable divorce.
See what he did?
I ain't trying to hear that. It's because y'all friends. Y'all friends, so that makes sense.
One question: how long was that marriage?
The marriage was 6 years, about 6-7 years. Yeah.
Okay.
We was super cool, and we super cool to this day.
To this day, yeah.
We was
That's
super cool.
good.
But my second marriage, it started off, you know,
Same way.
It always
it started
do.
off.
Yeah, it
wonderful.
always
She
do.
was deeper with me in ministry.
It always
but
start off like that.
That's the one Jesse used.
Ooh, I'm good.
Can I count that one?
I'm glad.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I'm
life
going to get married.
experiences.
I'm going to get married again. Dear future Mr. Silas, I'm coming for you.
So here's the thing: what I learned in life, I have always had mentors in my life. You know what I mean? Especially as my mother was deteriorating, I gained more mentors. Right. And effectively, what I've learned was you have to listen to your elders.
Yes.
I'm looking at people who've been in marriages but never consulted with their elders. I ain't talking about asking.
I consulted with my elders. They led me the wrong way. But go ahead.
I'm not talking about the elders. I'm not talking about the elders that surround you. See, the elders that surround you is not the ones.
Yeah, clearly.
Because they judge you because they know what you've been through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So let's put it like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the elders that, like, when we watch these movies and they be like, we got to go talk to the elders. And it's not necessarily, not even
Family members.
Or physical.
Yeah, that's real.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be able to recall your ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that was the one thing I was talking about the failure of relationships and marriage ships.
I'm not trying to be funny, but the only time it happened with my ancestors is when I'm high.
Well, that's cool.
Okay, all right.
Well, I mean, because a lot of Indians believe the same way.
Absolutely.
Indians take Peko and all that. So I get that. So, but before we were talking about triggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can trigger you unless you have something already loaded.
Yeah.
Which
You
makes
feel me?
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm already there.
So you have to understand. Like
It's the same with your desires.
exactly. So
It's already there.
One of the only people right now that the only person at this table who knew me as a child is sitting here. Right?
Well, yeah, because we were all born after you.
Shut up.
Look, you see, I looked right at you. I was like,
of course we wouldn't know that.
But
that was a good one. But you know that means that you're dating me as well. So you know.
Well, he put you out there.
So what I'm saying is
nobody even knew.
Jewel, do you believe that I've changed in the sense of my where I wanted to be or my vision?
You were always.
Tell your people your questions.
All the individuals in our crew, your visionary goals pretty much have never changed. You have always been an individual, even as a teenager. You have always had to go. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it, and not that you're a go-getter. You were always, in the midst. I mean, you were my go-to. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, brother. But the reason I want to hear people say that because people think I just be coming up with shit out the back of my head.
Yes, we do, and we still do.
And we still do. He's like,
still do.
I don't matter how many witnesses.
Right. No, but that's how I always been this way.
Gotcha. A foolish man. Go on.
That's why I told her.
You got a real one today.
Right. Yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna pull her hair out when she leaves. But when you were talking about triggers, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing can trigger you unless you have ammunition already.
It's already in there.
Yeah.
So those
heal
things
from that ammunition in there.
And sometimes make your ammunition your abundance of your projection or your projectile to go forward. And I've learned that even with my anger, Brittany seen me how I feel about certain things. I'm like, I'm glad, I'm cool. I'm gonna get to it.
Right. It's not I'm like a telly. I'm okay or I'm fine. Right. It's a real okay.
No,
cool.
Come on, Miles don't be fine when he say that.
He don't be fine when he says
I'm
that.
cool.
No, it's
I'm
not.
cool.
He's not okay when he smiles behind him saying it. That's what it is.
All of the above.
Trying to figure out Miles. Y'all trying to figure out Miles is failing. Because,
I figured him out.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Because when he thinks you might be trying to figure it out,
just because he changed direction, don't mean you don't know that way.
Top of the top, caller, you on the air.
The fact that you've said that already.
No.
Right.
Top of the top, caller, you on the air.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Hey, good morning. It's Rich calling.
Good morning.
What up, though?
Rich
Hey,
was my
how's it
man's
going?
this weekend, boy. For Rich was Rich. If I didn't have Rich the other day,
Where you at?
Yeah, that's what I was calling. Give Jewel a shout out.
Oh man, you gotta do that, Rich.
For the opportunity to allow me to do behind the scenes on the commercial video shoot.
That's what's up, Rich.
We actually shot the video for the jacket that Miles is gonna tell you all about. And tell you the giveaway of it, but we shot the video downtown. I didn't even know it was a vault. I needed a vault, and I went to the Regis Hotel, and they sealed their vault up. And I've been planning this for 9 months, like a baby, and I found the vault in the Shelby. So, in long story short, I needed a grip and an equipment manager, and I put a Facebook post out there, and Rich responded. And man, telling you, if I hadn't had Rich on that set with me, everything would have been twice as hard, twice as long. So, mad shout out to you, balling with Rich, man. I really appreciate you, bro. And your patience with me, because when I'm in the mood, oh shit, that part. All right, you said you work with me.
Thank you for
We
calling
appreciate
in,
you, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
So,
Hey, Rhea said something that was very profound. She said, when everyone deals with abuse, there's a part in the healing process that you have to deal with in the uncomfortable conversation with yourself. And understand it's not you taking blame for someone else's actions, it's you forgiving yourself. I definitely believe that. Yes. And
profound. And that woman star.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Definitely.
So what she just said is what my next hit was about being a seed, right? A seed. The seed is so important. In order for it to sprout, it needs sunlight, water, and patience. And for you just to pull the trigger, that's only one action.
Right.
You feel me? But the response of pulling the trigger,
squeeze the trigger.
Yeah.
Squeeze that whole statement is you don't pull the trigger.
Yeah,
you squeeze. So who's squeezing the trigger?
But the point is, the part of sunlight, water, and patience is a process.
And some people, you can get that in different people, right? Because some people come to actually plant. Some people come to water.
Yeah.
Some people, you know what I'm saying? So that's just having different people that come into your life to do those things. Sometimes you're just a person that just plant the seed.
Which is your elder. So it goes back to knowing who you have in your life would dictate the outcome a lot of times.
Well, basically, we're supposed to be wise, have wise counsel. And if not, we should seek out wise counsel.
Yeah.
There you go. And they say wise, it don't say rich,
no,
it don't say
says
famous,
wise,
it say wise.
Just wise counsel.
So and you can tell wise counsel by the wise decisions that they have made. You feel me? It's not have nothing to do, because everybody who we look up to, this is what I understand, this is what I learned. Black people are giving poor people to look up to.
Yeah. Especially in Detroit.
You know, they just
you're talking about poor in character, poor in wisdom.
No.
What are you talking about? Poor what?
In wealth.
Okay. You're talking about in that sense. Okay, yeah. I was going deeper.
Yeah, all right, example, because
he was on the surface. I was going deep.
And white folks are giving wealthy people
examples of
all the process. Yeah, they the wealthy people have the insight of all things.
Well, that's a whole different topic on how it was a systematic way
for the black man. So,
I get that part.
They gave us Martin, which was a great man. Poor. Malcolm. Poor. Everyone that we look up to, and we.
Did you only say it too?
No, I would be here till tomorrow.
Right.
I'm just messing with you.
Well, you know, poor may have been poor financially, but you know, the bigger point of that is we wanted to see them rich in other areas. Sometimes, you know, money can come and go unless it's an asset. The fact of the matter is,
we're talking about rich. I'm talking about wealthy.
Okay.
The rich and the wealthy is different. And the reason why I say because wealthy plant seeds.
But the only way somebody could be a leader is if they was rich mentally anyway.
That sounds good, but then
I don't know. I agree to a certain extent, but then what if the person that wasn't like that is used, and then they grow into that role?
That can happen too. It just all depends on what they've been through. Anybody. I could tell you right now, all the leaders you could think about went through something in order to become leaders. Yeah. So nobody had
that's why you said mentally rich. Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly why I said mentally rich.
So, but here's what's they call the caveat to that.
Just a catch.
I like the wealthy part.
Right. So here's this. We say of people who were leaders, right? But we have nobody still following their leadership.
That's true too.
So when you're wealthy, though, today still people talking about Rockefeller. Never seen a picture of the man, know nothing.
Yeah, you can Google it.
Some of them think it got something to do with Jay-Z. So
right. So what I'm saying is,
well, you can even say even down to Rothschild.
Right. To all, but that's wealth because the wealth has the seeds. It has the sunlight, the water.
But it goes back to what he said too with some of the systematic the wealth and how they became wealthy.
I definitely say he's right on the. Definitely say I'm not saying nobody right or wrong.
Understand what they did.
What I'm saying is that a lot
some
of
people don't understand what they did to become wealthy.
Majority of
that's
people
what I'm saying.
I thought you were saying some people don't understand that it was systematic.
No. We got that part.
Yeah, no, I'm saying they don't know how they use the system and all that other stuff.
I put like
that's
this,
another topic.
As of right now, there's nowhere in the world. I'm not putting you on blast that you shouldn't have called me if you needed those people. That's one. And then I'm not putting you on blast. I'm just saying, like, we have to understand we are still all together. I don't give a fuck if we ain't talking months, weeks, or days. Right? People, this is the problem I have with us in the sense of if it's time for us to work, if it ain't no other time for us to work together, now is the damn time. You feel me?
You're right about that.
Indeed.
Now is the time. June, don't look at me like that.
I'm so serious.
I'm talking about people who's willing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now.
Good morning, Jim Animal.
Hey, Jim Animal.
Oh, and that's another person.
Was the perfect time.
So he was saying. So y'all gotta watch. Please watch the Big Flex Strongcast on Monday nights at 9:00. It's so much stuff that people keep saying that black people were here before and thousands of years of pyramids, but what does that have to do if we don't even entrust the person who's sitting next to you?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We ain't thinking about Africa because we're looking at but we don't trust our brother who we see every day.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
So
that's biblical.
That's definitely biblical.
Baby.
That's definitely
God told me don't put my trust in man.
No, not only that, when God told you, don't eat from the tree of knowledge because it bears fruit of good and evil. Everybody want to know. The tree of knowledge is to know something. Everybody want to know something, but what actually are you doing with it? When he told you to eat a tree of life, and that's the problem. Life that bear the fruits of love and unity and sharing and caring and all those things that all the things that you're not doing. But no, you want to know about knowledge. We all be theologians. Did you know the Ethiopian Bible, Jews? You're not handling the 66. What makes you think you can handle the 88?
Oh, the 128. I mean,
that's what destroyed man was knowledge.
I mean,
the lack thereof.
Because first of all, and it's crazy. Shout out to Minister Farrakhan. He said years ago, he said the brain that you have right now, can hold any massive knowledge of any computer on this earth.
Yeah.
Right. He said because he gave the example of the 48-bit computers they used to have in NASA in 1974 now can be held on one computer chip. Right? He said, so if you think, he said, have you ever seen a bird and a worm line? If you've never seen a bird and a worm line where his brain is no bigger than a penny, how your grown ass sitting up here waiting for somebody to give you some food? So we just got to really think and really start putting ourselves in a position. Jim Animal, he has apparel. Jewel has apparel. Todd has apparel. There's a lot of us have apparel, but we all going through 3 different, 4 different, 6 different pipelines. And we ain't getting respected by one. So that's some things we just have to really think about. All in all, have I been a part of abuse? Yes, I have. Have I ever abused anyone? Yes, I have. Have I ever manipulated anyone? Yes, I have. I would say this: I did it for survival.
Right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When someone brings it to your attention that you have abused them, how do you guys react to it? Do you just quickly say no, like, hey, no, I don't know what you're talking about?
I have to ask how, because they was there with me too.
You should not.
You was present.
You should never ask how. You should never ask what. You should never ask a person who accuses you of the abuse to prove it.
I ain't say prove it. I say how.
I would want to know.
I'm going to tell you why. Because what it does is it places the individual who has taken all this time in the effort to even bring it out of their mouths. It places them in a different, additional state of resistance. When all they really want by bringing it to your attention is your attention. So even if you didn't do it, you're still at the point of making sure that you manifest and know Matthew 6, and that is to forgive and to be forgiven. If somebody comes like, Jewel, you you know what? I'm not going to unclarify how you feel. I'm sorry. I apologize. I meant knowing that I did not need to do that.
Because that's a trigger for people.
What you said or did that
so you won't do it again
and or offended, so that it doesn't happen again.
You can ask. You might be able to ask that in the end, but the initial thing you
is to apologize.
The initial thing you need is to be a part of the healing and not a part of the snatching off the scab even more to make an even deeper wound. Because you could put somebody even deeper back further than the abuse that you didn't even know. But come on, time.
Gaslighting in that dynamic may be tricky.
Back in '98 or back in 2001, you may have not even known that you may have offended someone, and you sure ain't thinking about it. But they are.
Yeah, they living it. They living with that every day.
Hold on. I do go through that, but one thing I've learned, I'll be very honest with you, I could give less fuck than that I offended them and they ain't address it when it happened. That's
okay. I'm not arguing with you on that.
I think at some point you have to. It has to be addressed.
Hold on.
It has to be addressed.
And here's why.
Go ahead. I'm with you.
Give me 60 seconds.
I'm with him.
Give me 60 seconds. And I'm gonna drop a bomb.
No, Jewel, because I'm about to do this. When I'm gonna do this right. When Jewel told me, Doc, that's whack. You can write it better than that. Jewel, did I sit up here and debate with you?
No, but that's different.
No, hold on. I'm gonna tell you. So let's bring it to more harsher things. More harsher things. When my mother died, Jewel, did you tell me everything was gonna be okay?
Did I?
No, you didn't.
I feel like that's what everybody say.
No,
but
he did. No, he didn't.
So he didn't say anything.
He did. He did say, "I'm here for you."
Okay.
That's what he said.
Well, that's proving the actual point.
Hold
if somebody is feeling a particular way,
wait a minute.
They need counseling. They need consulting.
No, but at the same time,
not questioning.
You was going through shit yourself.
Absolutely.
So all I'm trying to say is that the moment we keep asking a grown ass person, somebody came to me from 20 years ago, told me you hurt my feelings. That's why. Hold on, that's why I never did my album.
Oh man!
So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna drop it like
grow up here.
I can't.
If that's the case, Jewel and killed more dreams from people that's artists than anybody I know.
But we're dealing with abuse.
It's the same thing.
Okay,
it's the same thing.
I'm a grown man. This was 6 years ago. I'm standing with my grown man son. We are in Walmart in Dearborn. I come down to the line. I'm coming through to the cashier. She ringing up all my stuff, and she look up at me and she says, "Is your name Jewel?" And I say, "Yeah." She's like, "I hate you. I can't stand." Did I tell you the story?
Yeah.
She's like, "I hate you." I was like, "What?" And my son was like, "What's going on?"
Right.
She was like, "I was 12 years old, and not 12 years, like 9 or something, because I was actually 12." She's like, "And you hurt my feelings." I'm like, "What?"
People remember that.
And now she bagging up your groceries.
"How did I hurt your feelings?" 9 years old. She was like, I was like, ma'am, I don't even know who you are. She grown, I'm grown. So I don't even know who you are. She's like, oh, you used to be a teacher. I'm like, a teacher? When you was 9, that would have made me 12. But I had to think. I was a teacher. I was a student teacher for Glacier Elementary. I was going to Longfellow. I was so musically inclined. Mm-hmm. They were paying me to teach the elementary school teacher. She said she was been mad at me because I favored her sister more than I favored her. And I talked to her sister, and she had a crush on me, and da-da-da-da-da. So skip to the point where I was about to say, I don't know what to deal with first. The fact that you've been holding on to this for 30 plus years.
But she hasn't seen you prior to.
Or the fact that you still wounded by that. But me being the man that I am now, I had to just say, you know what? I'm sorry.
And you know what?
But she hadn't seen
you know what?
My grown son is cracking up, rolling on the floor.
Hey,
so like,
wait, Jules. I hope your apology helped her move up
to management.
To management instead of back in your groceries.
No, we're not about to do that to my girls. We're not about to do that to my girls.
You really don't know how deep those
people be carrying it. I had to recently apologize for something years ago.
That'd be the problem, though. People be too weak-minded.
That's not weak. That's emotion.
So can I be very blatantly honest?
No. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
A lot of people be mad. A lot of people be mad because they never find their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are mad because they never find their purpose.
I think we're making fun of your purpose so big.
We banning that word from the show.
Go ahead, drink, because people almost died on the show.
I think people are making fun of your purpose this big. Wham, bam, thank you.
Thank you.
Like, I think that's
it ain't.
No, when I say find your purpose, Brittany, of all my beautiful people that I know in my life, how old were you when you realized you wanted to be an actress?
None of your business.
It's 11.
She was young. Right?
She was young as hell.
I knew. I was already doing it.
Thank you. So what I'm trying to say is, you know how difficult for you to be around people and you know your purpose and you around them and they don't know they're
there. Yeah, y'all be around them.
Exactly.
I was about to say, but she's not responsible for them to know.
But when you are around them, what do you get? Jealousy. Somebody hate when you
walk away. I could feel it.
I know because you exactly. So that's how I be. That's all being models are saying.
I've been doing inner child work since I was a child. Like, I'm not lying. I started journaling at like 7, 8, and come to find out my mom did the same thing.
But that's incredible.
See, I do notes to myself.
I've been journaling and doing inner work since I was a little kid. Like I always wanted to know because I felt different.
Yeah.
So it's like, why do I feel so different?
So you give me the perfect segue if you don't mind. Time.
No, go ahead.
Jewel, let's show Jewel this jacket. And we're about to go into the definition of his logo. Because as a black American in this country of ours, as a black American, we need to know what that logo means. What does that logo mean, Jewel?
Okay, actually, this logo is, as you can see, is an O, is a T, is an F. And while I'm unveiling this jacket, the name of the company, the fashion brand, the socially conscious fashion brand is Other 2/5.
And why is the Other 2/5?
Because
he was getting to that.
It was. Shut up. No, I like the fact that you said the concept of the brand actually is derived from the 3/5 compromise that was placed in the Constitution of the United States of America as a law.
And which year was that?
In 1787, where they said that a black person, which were slaves back then, well, some of us were slaves most back then, were only 3/5 of a white person. So I created a brand called the Other 2/5, taking away the dehumanization, the unequalization of a particular race, that they have kind of been brainwashed to believe that we are humanless or unhuman, and basically been saying it. And here is a brand that's actually defying that, not only defying it with history, but also the spiritual mysteries in this particular jacket. I've been great support for my family. This is a premium fashion brand. This is not one of them hookup type of things. I use premium everything to distinguish. And if Balenciaga and all these other brands who are worshiping the opposite can do it, I can do this for not only the history of black, but also the mysteries of the kingdom. Come on, somebody.
Yeah. And Jewel was actually one of the
first. I like
first.
that. Yeah, look at the leather on the sleeve.
Yeah.
So are you using those particular colors for symbolism?
Oh, so
'Cause
glad
you
you
have
asked.
purple and-
So
yeah.
glad you asked. As purple is known to also be royalty.
Yes.
That's why
Not
I
only
asked.
that, it's actually the two colors combined of the colors of your actual blood, blue and red, creates and makes purple. I'm just gonna spin this around. I'm not gonna tell you everything. We're gonna do details of what's going on with the jacket. But I do want you to see one great thing on this jacket is, we see the most powerful words in the Bible. One of the most powerful, if not the powerful, is I am. Now we read that in English, and our Lord and Savior said it, I am. When you read it in the Bible, it's written in red. But he didn't actually speak it in English. Our Lord and Savior spoke a language called Aramaic. So when it was
somebody got it right.
When son was transferred for the book, the original Bible, which was way before slaves and the slave Bible, I wanted to add that in there.
Thank you.
The original Bible was written in Hebrew, and then it was later Hebrew, with the exception of what was written in Aramaic, and then it was later transferred to Greek. So that is the reading that you see on here. So when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and them soldiers started to take him. First of all, Jesus did not give up. He didn't surrender nothing. He just like, come on, let's go.
Let's run with it.
He said that was after he spoke these words and said it came from him asking him who he was, and he said, I am that I am. But what you don't know is that when he spoke that, it knocked down 700 to 800 soldiers, just him saying I am that I am. See, sometimes some folks, when we ain't got strength, we got power in our voice.
Voice in the tongue.
Somebody didn't say it, somebody didn't hear it. But what he actually spoke was Ego Ime. That's the actual pronunciation, Ego Ime. And this is I am. So this is I am, and this is I am actually written in the pronunciation in the actual Hebrew writing. I don't have time to go into the depths of all the mysteries and histories that's actually on this jacket. But Doc, you can tell them, this jacket also has an authenticity tag. There is not one jacket that is created the same. Each jacket has its own leather seal authenticity code in the inside of the jacket. So your number is definitely different from somebody else's.
Dope.
There you go.
Okay.
So
nice.
So as Todd is the head of the nominations committee for the Oscars, we're gonna be giving that jacket away as a Oscar prize.
Does it come in another size?
It come in all sizes.
All sizes. Okay.
This particular, and they all retail value of this jacket is $500. I did a shipment, and they're all gone. As a matter of fact, this is the last jacket I got because people is not only seeing the movement, they're feeling it. They're feeling the fact that this is a brand that's with its authenticity, the mystery, the history, and they're proud to even be wearing it, man. And I'm getting orders, and we just did this commercial to it. It's gonna set it off, so I want to donate it to the awards, and you guys can do it. If they don't wear this size, we got your size coming. Whoever wins it, we'll make sure they have their own design size, and they all have their own authenticity number and code to it.
So a part of abuse, Jewel, with your clothing line, did you feel was people being gatekeepers on how to go get certain things? Because gatekeeping can be a form of abuse too while people playing.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Right. And so, what was your struggles on even getting a jacket to that caliber?
My struggles was the abuse of different individuals, knowing the a side, but it's the classic crab in the bucket mentality. Okay. People are not wanting to give the information. And I do want to say this, and this just came across my mind to mention. Doc was very, very pivotal in helping and assisting a couple of years ago. It was the abuse of other people who were gatekeeping. They knew the potential of the product, the process, the actual movement, Todd. And I actually went on a podcast with Doc, and I mentioned to the viewers, I said, it's sad that I was in a hotel and this white guy was like, oh man, I love the movement, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. You said, are you looking for funding? And I said, yeah. And he said, I got a guy right now who'll give you $30,000. I only needed 20 at the time. And he said, I got a guy who will give you $30,000 in less than a week. He doesn't believe in the movement, but he believes in making money, and we believe that your brand will make that money. And I told him no. Mm-hmm. And I came on the show and I told that, and Doc said, I got you. I'm like, what the heck you mean? You got me. Doc made some calls and hooked me up, and long story short, we got that funding.
That's what's up. That's important. Hey, Jackie, who Jackie fans? It was hot. That like it was getting hot. But no, it's
yeah, I have had people who are abusive because of the gatekeeping, and there are individuals who don't want you to exceed. They won't tell you the guidelines. They won't share some things with you. They won't guide you in the direction, especially if you're doing it right off the cuff. And here's another thing: is these shout out to my son with his brand, Hope 22. Shout out to you, Jerry. I love you, man. I'm so proud of you. His brand is Hope 22. The fact of the matter is that we need to know whatever it is we're doing, every single person can use some resources from somebody else. Everybody out here wanting to do everything on their own. That's the struggle route. Nobody took the struggle route. I don't know not one person who's made it successful who didn't have at least some type of direction or advice, some type of mentor, some type of individual, doing it. We all need help, and we don't need to have the crab in the bucket mentality. We're supposed to be here to pull and help and pull somebody up. Most of the blessings that I've got is because I've gave things away. I helped somebody else. I don't everything ain't about a pay thing. There's Doc helped, and he gave me that direction, so that I can get funded for some things. But did I slide something under the table for Doc? Maybe not at that time, but Doc, there's not a point in Doc's life, and I'm gonna say this, and I hope you all feel me. There's not a point in Doc's life he can't call me for anything. I don't care what.
That's dope.
I could be across the world, and I could be on planet Mars. If Doc said he need me in 10 minutes, I'm gonna do a shapeshift, and I'm gonna be there in 7, flat out. And whether it's somebody having an issue or Doc have a need, we're gonna leave all the rest of that off.
Y'all know Jewel gangster too. Anyway, so we'll skip that part. I was
He's a spiritual gangster.
Yeah. That's what he go by now. Yeah.
I ain't been delivered from Linwood. Okay.
I think you still gotta realize he.
I believe in God, and I will send you to Him if I have to.
I just said he's a spiritual gangster.
I'll put on a shirt.
I can lay hands on you in the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus. So we have to. I just think people just need to really feel the reason that everything that you say to people is not always taken as gold. Sometimes it's taken the shit because they're in a shitty mood. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we have to understand, like you said, Jewel, Brittany, some things you may say that it's how you. People say, Doc, it's not what you said, it's how you said it.
Yeah. I've heard that.
But there's no way for me to tell you that graphic look like shit.
There's no good way to tell you.
And all I can do is show you examples of what stuff should look like.
Yeah.
So Jewel made an example with how when you come to Jewel's studio, okay, first of all, when I first went to the studio, his studio was
because you real passionate about this.
Yeah.
He brings it up quite a bit.
Yes, the studio.
Yes, he does. He brings it up quite a bit.
Jewel's studio wasn't the studios that most people would say, okay, well, I want to spend. No, he had studios in the basement, but his sound
quality was great.
Right? I was knowledgeable on things with the doing, how to do it, things, right? Jewel showed me how to make people respect you in your craft, okay? Because at first, I'm not going to lie, when I came to Jewel, I was knowledgeable of things that majority of people that came to him was knowledgeable of, how to break down the song, how to write a song, how to actually engineer. But however, the production part I was new at, but I wasn't good at it. But watching how you deal with people makes you better as the individual you're trying to be.
Wow.
Jewel was able to handle different types of people, different ways, and get a good result. Everybody cannot do that.
No,
that's
different. That's exactly.
It's called a gift.
I get it. So if Jewel hair was fucked up, you want to work with Jewel. Julius have a lot of hair.
If it was done, nobody wanted to.
If his hair was whipped up, you were like, I ain't fucking with him.
Okay.
Only because.
So his hair couldn't be done.
No.
Oh, okay.
Because his hair was done.
Actually, if it was done, they would all pull it up straight up. To the
That's
top.
wild.
Yeah, because
Is that because you work better with it?
One
With
time
this stuff?
we wrestled him down to actually mess his hair with it because we needed his creativity, right?
Right.
And I was literally looking like the Black Einstein.
Yeah. And so,
I mean, some people do that.
and don't get me wrong.
I get it.
And so, like, as I grew up, it's sad to say, but if I wasn't musty, nobody would mess with me because they mean I ain't been working.
You're always that.
No,
Some things just don't change.
That's why I gotta get some complete cologne from Jewel. But no, seriously.
No, this way, go. Keep talking.
You said complete cologne.
You
got
No, but so basically, what you're saying, like y'all had certain things for the mood to kind of be there, right?
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it's the same in our world.
Idiosyncrasy.
But it's the same in our world when it comes to actors. Certain things have to be done so you can get into
so what
character.
has to be done for you to play this role of the preacher's wife who's a narcissist?
Who me?
Yeah.
Just the door gotta be
go
closed.
sit.
Look, the door gotta be
I gotta go
closed.
sit somewhere and figure it out.
I'm definitely gonna be casting.
That's real. That's real.
I wanted to get back to something
This is
that you.
what Miles need.
No. Yeah.
Oh, just something. You got stuff for women?
I got it.
I said for women.
The women's.
What the women at?
Oh, that smells great. I like that.
That's for the men's.
That's the complete.
This is complete. I already got this.
Oh, that's for the men's.
The women's are coming out this summer.
Okay. Let me tap in with the women's code.
that smells good.
Pass it this way though, because it's summertime. Hold on.
Yeah. Hey, but I wanted to get to something.
Yeah.
I want to tap into something that you said
Make
earlier.
them stop cackling.
Oh. No,
okay,
but,
let me get this back.
Yeah, but something you said earlier, Miles, about like, you know, if I don't get that apology right then and there, like this has happened recently. Somebody that just kept on going and going, you know, apologizing later, and I'm cool. I don't even care about the apology. Didn't even respond to the message because at that rate, it's like you knew what you did when you was doing, and you knew you was wrong.
You should have said sorry then.
Exactly.
No, because you may not have been receiving of it then, because you still mad.
Well, it ain't even that.
See,
some people doing it because they got to get it off their chest. That's part of their them forgiving themselves.
That's yeah.
So that's why people do things like that.
Look,
and sometimes you blocking
Ty said
people.
to me like, "I'm sorry, bro, but I got to tell you this."
But sometimes,
it is okay to do that.
sometimes you blocking stuff too.
Oh, I'm not blocking nothing. I'm trying to keep it out.
I'm not saying from you. I'm saying you blocking something from the other person when they trying to give you something.
Oh yeah, but see, this is the thing though. This person
is deeper than what y'all talking about.
This person is a repeat offender though, so that's my problem. You know what I'm saying? This particular person is a repeat offender.
Hey, a man fall down 7 times? What? You got to keep forgiving.
I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's all.
I'm sorry though. I don't make the same mistake twice. So
I
can't say that. I can't agree with that.
I'm just talking about within myself because it's like
yeah, you probably made it.
Oh yeah, Shady, you definitely made the mistake.
Ty probably made it too.
After the second marriage, I was done making the same mistake twice.
I took accountability.
Because there's a phrase out there. You may make a mistake once, you may make a mistake twice, but sometimes if you keep saying that and making that same mistake, that's a learned behavior. That's a choice.
There you go.
And I'm going to bust a whole lot of people's bubble when I say this. I know you all have been using that colloquialism and phrase that nobody's perfect. That's not what is written biblically. It says, be ye perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect, which means that there is a mark for you to stop making mistakes.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that you may not have some bumps along the way, but you have a mark. You have an expectation from your Father to be greater and better, which means you have no excuses.
Yeah, I don't like that. Nobody's perfect.
You have less excuses. I don't like it.
I don't like
say it, Mama, because you're just like that jacket says. I am. It's not a personal thing when you're describing I am. You're actually speaking whatever in existence. So that science has to chase up to what you have spoken in power. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am healed. When you're saying that, when you're saying ego ime, when you're saying those words, it thank you. Yes, it chases up to you.
Hold on, why you playing? That was in Black Panther.
It was. But
Telly, you still look like you're not convinced. So let me ask you. So listen, let me ask you. So listen, let me ask you something, Telly. Have you ever been an abuser? Yes. Okay. So listen, if you've been an abuser before, what was it that you did exactly? Was it just verbal?
It was probably verbal.
Okay, verbal. Now, moving forward, do you handle the situation the same way?
No.
Did you have grounds to be the abuser, or was you being petty?
Petty.
No.
She was being petty.
No, it was necessary.
It was necessary. Okay, now let's say the same situation happened today, sometime today.
Yeah.
How are you handling it?
I would handle it differently. I'll probably remove myself.
And that's my point about not making the same mistake over and over. So when you become a repeat offender, that is a choice.
I said a repeat offender.
Hey, we gotta get out of here because it's 11:27.
Oh, yeah,
but I will say this.
It's actually 29.
Shut up.
Yeah, and we can't end the show with him having a point.
Hold on. So I want to add something comical, especially come from a new show we coming up with, hosted by the one and only Brittany Chanel, biblically speaking.
Fire.
And Jewel being present, and then Todd,
I love that.
Todd and Chanel, y'all could follow through.
Chanel. That is Brittany's last name.
Shanny. Y'all two, Todd and Shanny, y'all answer. I mean, y'all answer right behind Jewel and Brittany.
Okay.
Have God ever made a mistake?
No.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on.
I was about to say.
No. Has God ever made a mistake, Jewel?
Yes.
Has God ever made a mistake?
Yes.
Has God ever made a mistake?
Yes.
Has God ever made a mistake?
No.
Okay. So here's
can I
hold on.
I'm still standing on what I
we all know what the mistake was because he said it.
So okay,
He sure did.
But even more, because this is one of my beliefs, right? Because I believe in ants, right? I believe the power of ants is an example of how humans should actually live, right? Because they're the smallest, but also the strongest, right? Saying how we are as a mammals, we're the smallest, the strongest, the weakest, whatever. So I'm the strongest, the smallest, but the strongest.
They always produce him.
Yeah. So hold on.
I have to recant my answer.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Watch this.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Clarify, but go ahead.
So when God made the anteater, so the ants, He said, I need to give these little things some wings so they can get away, right? He made ants with wings,
right?
So it's like he had to revamp things as he went along. Do y'all agree with that, at least?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So why we don't think we have to revamp our own lives?
I don't think like that. I feel like we always need something to give us that push.
The reason.
I don't know. I don't know.
The reason why, and you said that God make a mistake. I want to recant that just a sweet bit. The God I would like to say, I know that God had a regretment.
Regretment? I never heard regretment.
Yeah, it's just a jewel word.
I think he definitely made that up.
Okay, I do the same thing.
Because Brittany was saying there like, y'all be fucked up on that.
And you see me, I'm like.
So I'm going to say this guy had a regretment because of that gift of choice I was talking about. We choose something crazy and then God be like, ugh. In the instance of biblical sense, the Israelites wanted a king. Samuel pretty much had appointed Saul. Saul was doing this thing. This is where we get the biblical phrase, is better to be obedient. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Thank you, Holy Ghost. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Saul was a good king, but he was doing what he was wanting to do. And God came to Samuel and was like, I don't think that was a good choice.
He lifted the anointing.
And then exactly tell him, sis. He
lifted. The only reason why I say he made the mistake is because everything in the Bible, in the beginning when you read it, he said everything else was good until he got the man. He said not good. A man to be alone. So that was my only reason why I said
got it. That's why
in that sense of a mistake.
Okay.
But God does change his mind. That's another thing.
Yeah, now I can agree with that. We do too.
And he's the only being that whatever he does or whatever he says, whether we might think it's a mistake or not, he has the ability to create it. He has the ability to wave his hands, ability to blink, wink, blow his breath, and he can correct it. We can't. We have a minute power structure of that.
Yeah.
We have a very minute.
But that was my only reason for saying in the sense of the mistake being made. Because if you go through everything else was good, but
the angels was looking at me like, you got to make sure you so we are accountable for what we say while we're dealing with the topic of abuse.
There's actually
for what we doing.
There's actually an angel that follows you and write down everything that you say.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of people don't believe that, but there is actually
Turquoise.
An angel. I'm not about to play with them.
It's such a nice.
Such a guy. I know what y'all talking about because I saw it. They such men. It doesn't even make any sense.
First of all, I see Joe saying my angels looking down.
Y'all are such men. It makes absolutely no sense. So you can't see. I can see.
Thank you for my back being turned.
Lord, I want to thank you for admiring your creation.
Thank you.
Well, you know he did build us.
Okay.
Y'all. Yeah.
Baby,
He just did y'all, but he built.
Okay.
It formed. It didn't
I want to be.
And look, one thing for sure, two things for certain. He gave us the bone. Anyway, let's get out of here, y'all. Watch Rise Ground.
But y'all gotta have us help y'all do anything with the bone.
Okay.
Y'all can't do nothing without us.
Nathaniels.
You shouldn't do nothing without us.
That's the safe word. Turquoise.
Turquoise, fatter. Go ahead, let's go. We got
Gucci Daddy shorts, that's ours.
Yeah.
Nah, tell me that ain't even yours. Don't even agree with
Hey, she's sick beside.
Don't let she will overtake you. People, I need you all to start praying in every aspect. If you don't know how to pray, ask God to teach you how to pray.
I'm about to pray right now. Heavenly Father, give me turquoise in my life. Give me every bit of
Heavenly Father, just give me good weather. It's the summertime.
Hey, y'all, go watch Broad Day.
Yes.
Us on there too.
Heavenly
They're streaming on
Yes,
YouTube.
shout out to Jada.
Shout out to Jada.
Oh yeah, new episodes June. You can't watch us. You can't watch it. You can't watch
Heavenly
us.
Father, touch all my people who I connected with over in England, particularly Purpose Driven Sharon. That is, anyway, you know, for all
I would
those
not
who
try
do.
to say that name.
Purpose Driven Sharon. She's a straight up G. She was responsible for putting a prayer group together that prayed for me when the doctors told me that I had 12 to 24 months to live.
Nice.
And this is that 12 to 24 mark right now. She put a prayer team for me together.
That's what's up.
Prayer is definitely the key. And, you know, just mad shout out and love to that whole entire crew, all the friends and the ministers, the people that I met over there. You know, super duper powerful, fully supporting me in every aspect. So God bless you all. I love you all, and I will see you soon.
All right. Thank you. Thank you,
You
for
looking
joining
for her
us
friend?
today. Jewel, thank you for looking up for turquoise too.
Wild work.
Thank you for coming by, for showing us what's going on, for giving us the jacket to give away for the podcast. Brittany Chanel is always one of my favorite people in the whole world. Same with Todd. Thank you for joining us. He's the perfect gentleman. Shanny on the 1 and 2 is bringing us to you, award-winning engineer.
Thank you. Thank you.
About to win again.
Thank you. If I could be in the category.
Hold on.
Best new podcast.
Hold on. Make the announcement, Todd. When is it coming?
We are coming live to you for Oscars October 3rd.
Woo!
October 3rd. That is the date.
Yes. P3.
Wait, I'm trying
P3.
Actually, just do that.
Shanny.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, just not the 3, just the P.
Yeah, it's okay, Telly.
We're going to get it together.
Yeah.
You need master control. Go
The
ahead.
P3 is definitely coming. Telly, I'm pretty sure one step closer will be in the new podcast.
Thank you.
Category.
I received
So
that.
yeah, it's gonna be great this year. It is gonna be.
That was so shady.
Shade.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna be great this year. We got we've been having some very productive meetings, so yeah, it's gonna be dope.
That's what's up. All right, y'all. Y'all know the deal. Until next time, Rise Grandma Show tomorrow. Don't forget. Thursday we got Jim Animal. Jim Animal come on this Thursday.
Yes, Jim Animal, Toya, and Don will be on.
Yeah,
And don't count yourself out. You come on at 1.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow at 1.
Yes.
1 p.m. Yeah.
And stay tuned. I'll come on at 1 today.
While you playing, Jewel, how long you gonna be here in Detroit?
I'm gonna be here for a minute. Saints, I need y'all to remember there's a scripture that says in James 4:7. It says, turn your ways into the Lord. That means to humble yourself, resist the devil, and he'll flee from you. It's in that order because some of us think that we're impervious to the enemy getting within us, and then we become abusive, not knowing that even in our pristine positioning, we don't think that we are an abuser. But you have to humble yourself in order to see that, and if you don't humble yourself, you're not able to pray about the situation.
That's forever true.
And you won't be
you
free.
will never be able to be free. You may be abused. You may be the abuser. So humble yourself. Resist the enemy. He will flee. In that order. It won't work unless it's in that order.
So you know what? They got. That means Pornhub got to blow up tomorrow.
All right.
All right. Then.
Who's still keeping them open?
Miles.
Right.
The only person.
I'll be here for about another month.
Okay, Jewel. So, Jewel, how would you like to be on Shanny's show next Thursday?
It would be an honor.
That would be so good.
One thing people don't know, Jewel been through a lot of
yes. That would be such a dope interview.
And I want you to focus on the time you got stabbed in your neck when you was in California.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That part.
Yeah. That part. It's
yeah.
deep.
I'm ready.
Yep. So, and until next time, y'all watching the Rise and Grind Morning Show right here on podcast. We'll see you later.
We out of here, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.
Rise and grind. Morning show at 9:15 a.m. Monday through Friday. Great conversation, guest appearances. 'Cause you